Hello everyone, it's Normal Life and you're probably watching this video because you want to get better at Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout. Now, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back and watching my video. I really do appreciate it. But if you're a new person watching this video, check out my channel, check out all the videos that I do. I do a lot of gaming videos which you probably would like, and consider subscribing. Now, I'm going to share with you 5 tips that I use to try and win at Blackout. Now, I've won a few games, but on my very first attempt I did come second, but I do use these tips all the time when I play my game, and it really does help my performance. So these are top 5 tips you can do on solo, duo or squads. So, tip number 1 is where you drop on the map. So this is the very first part when you begin the game. Is really a key part, how you pick up weapons and how you survive from the start. So what I suggest, do not drop right underneath the helicopter where you land, and also do not try and drop in the center of the map, because this is where most players will drop, and if you drop in the same place as them, it is going to be a 50-50 chance if they get a weapon first, and you could be easily out of the game. So what I suggest is land on the side of the helicopter, on the probably the outsides, not the outside of the map, but the outskirts of the map, so you can get in a comfortable place, so you can get all the gear that you want to try and move on and win the game. So one thing to consider when dropping is probably go where the zombies are. Now, when you go towards the zombies, you can probably get some really good loot from there. That's from the zombies themselves, if you kill them, or because they guard a crate, you can get probably the best loot in the game. But this comes at a risk. You can get overwhelmed by the zombies, or take a bit of damage, and then when you're playing further in the game, you can get easily killed. And also you create a lot of attention, so when you're shooting the zombies, people go towards where they heard that shot sound and try and kill you and try and get your loot. So try and keep that in mind when you do drop near zombies. But what I mainly do is drop in a place where I feel comfortable, where I know good loot is, and where I know the back of my hand really is at places. So when I drop somewhere, I know where the player's going to be if they drop, what guns they're going to have, and what guns I can get to try and kill them. So try and drop in places that you feel comfortable, you know the back of your hand, so you can try and defeat them and move on with your game. So tip number 2 is what to pick up. Now, there's lots of things to pick up to make your weapon better, to see with different scopes, but what I suggest is don't pick everything up. Try and pick up what helps you in your game, so if it improves your weapon, and also think about the perks that you can pick up. Now, there's some perks that are, I don't think, the best in the game, but there are some really good perks where you can see through walls, so try and use them perks, or ones that are going to help your teammate to try and improve your combat in the game. Also, try and pick up as much first aid kits as possible, because you really need these when you've took quite a lot of damage and you need to get under cover, regenerate your health to try and fire back towards your opponent. Alongside that, pick what weapons suit you. So don't just pick up weapons that look really good on the floor. Don't pick weapons that you probably just killed someone. Pick their weapons because you think they've got better weapons than you. Pick weapons that work for you, probably got the most kill rate with, and what weapons you feel comfortable when shooting long range and short range. So tip number 3 is combat. How to try and beat your opponents in different types of situations. So Blackout is a larger map, so it's not like in normal multiplayer modes. You are going to shoot at long range, medium range and short range. So think about your loadout. So what I use for my primary weapon is a long range weapon that has a low fire rate but takes a lot of damage towards your opponent, and for my secondary weapon it could be a high fire rate weapon, which is an SMG, or it could be a shotgun that takes a lot of damage at short range distance. So one thing you need to consider is how you stand when shooting. If you're firing long range, try and be crouched or prone to try and get a better aim towards your opponent. If it's at close range to medium range and you're both going to obviously shoot at each other, you need to make sure you're on your feet, so you're ready to move to probably possibly take cover or try and counter your opponent. Also, with combat, use the perks that are in your inventory. This is going to give you the upper hand on your opponent if that's seen through walls, taking less damage. It's a really big key that people probably don't. A lot of people probably do forget about these perks they've just picked up because you think they've got fancy boxes, but if you do use them in combat, they will give you the upper hand. Now, a tactic that I use to try and defeat my opponents, which really does work, is called the switch. This is using my primary and secondary weapon together. Firstly, use my primary if they're quite far away, and to try and take as much damage as I can if it's a sniper rifle while they're moving and try and take cover. While I've hit them and took some damage towards them, I'll try and rush them with my secondary weapon. This could be my SMG or my shotgun. And what's so good about this when I use my secondary weapon is because they're probably healing themselves, I'm rushing them and I can finish them off, and it's such a good tactic because I've overwhelmed them in combat. Because a lot of people, they probably want to just fire back, take cover, fire back. That's not the case. Sometimes in medium range you're going to have to try and rush your opponent to try and get the upper hand on them. So tip number 4, and this is probably the most important tip I can give to you guys, and this is movement and cover. Movement and cover is probably the most essential skill that you need to learn in Blackout, just because you don't always have the upper hand on your opponent. So you need to make sure sometimes you do need to move out of dangerous situations and take cover, and this decides if you live or die in combat. So let's start with movement. Movement is really key because in the game you obviously need to get in the centre of the circle because the map's getting smaller and smaller because of the storm whichever Blackout has at the moment. So you need to constantly keep moving, be on your feet. Do not camp or sit still at any moment, because if you camp or sit still at any moment, you're easy targets for snipers and people sneaking up on you. So you need to constantly keep moving and make yourself basically a hard target to hit. One thing to consider when moving is how you move. So is it jump, is it diving on the floor, or is it just simply running? So this depends if you're getting shot at. So if you're getting shot at, you need to make sure you escape away from danger. So if you're near buildings, it could be simply just running inside a building, behind a wall. If you're out kind of in the open, it may be getting prone, getting low, getting behind a rock, or simply running towards and diving towards a tree, which you can try and do. So these are really key movements you need to do straight away, because if you just try and turn and try and shoot your opponent, this could take a long time to turn and shoot your opponent, and they could just simply just kill you. Now let's talk about cover. Cover is really important because this game is not Fortnite, and it never will be Fortnite, thank God for that. You cannot build walls in front of you. Like I said with movement, you cannot do like unrealistic space hops to try and get away from your opponent. So cover and movement, I say, is really important, but with cover you need to try and use your environment around you as best as you can. As I said, turning and trying to shoot your opponent probably takes a long time, and you possibly can just die easy. So you may have to take cover. So that could be inside a building, or it could be behind a rock, or just behind a tree. And when you take cover, try and not stay in that position that person's seen you last. Try and get in a new position so you keep them guessing. If it's looking over the rock on a different side, looking at the tree on the other side, or if you're in a building, try and get into a different floor. So taking cover can give you that advantage to try and get back at your opponent, and gives you time to heal as well, which is really key. So my 5th and final tip to try and win at Blackout is simply keep playing the game as much as possible. Now you could be a person who just plays it regularly just for fun, that's absolutely fine, but if you want to become really good at the game and try and get as many wins and victories as possible, is keep playing the game as much as possible, and you'll know how to play the game. You'll know the mechanics, you'll know where's the best place to land, you'll know what's good for you with weapons, how to defeat your opponents in different situations. Playing the game as much as possible is really key. So you're always going to be better than your first game, and then if you play your 100th game, you're always going to be better than that. So you need to make sure you're always playing the game, and also playing different modes, playing duos, squads, and you know how to work as a team, and know how to work, use different perks as a team, or how to heal your teammates. Keep playing the game, keep playing lots of modes, and you'll see a big improvement if you keep just playing it. So that's it, that's my top 5 tips to try and win at Blackout. So use these tips, I use these tips, excuse me, my voice is gone. I use these tips to try and win at Blackout, and it does get me some wins. Sometimes it doesn't, but it's just learning how to play the game really. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for checking out this video, I do really appreciate it. Don't forget to like this video, and if you're someone new checking out this video and checking out my channel, check out all the videos that I've done. I do a lot of gaming videos, and I'm going to do a lot of Blackout videos as well. I'll do a lot of live streams, so check out. If you like what you see, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in my next video.